I wanted to compete for a championship. You don't really want me to answer that question.
Where?
You know where I want to go.
Say it, because I don't know if everyone knows where you're from.
Come here. Come to Philly, baby. Come to Philly. They'll love him here, man.
Sign with Daryl Morey is what you just said on Control the Narrative podcast, Ken?
Listen. I'm from Philly, bro.
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Should any team want Carmelo Anthony?
Blasphemous.
Yes, sir, Carmelo.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, a podcast where we control the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to catch our weekly podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're a returner, a subscriber, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, like these two fine gentlemen are today, we appreciate you a little more. We are in the last week of our free agency preview. We've talked Lakers, we've talked Clippers, we've talked Phoenix, we've talked Brooklyn, we've talked the Suns, and we've talked one other team. No, that's it, 5 teams. And tonight, we're talking the team that I've gotten the most DMs from, the most comments from, the team that I personally want Melo to play for again, the New York Knicks. So to do that, we're bringing back 2 control members, 2 veterans on the show. And let's start top right. Joe, how we feeling tonight, bro?
Good. How you doing? How you doing, B?
Chilling, man. Good to have you back on.
Absolutely.
And Kenny on the bottom middle. I was fucking with him because I was like, yo, every single time, damn it, just like that, he's gone.
Thanks. Come back. There you go.
Somebody call me.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I was going to say, every time Kenny comes on, he has some crazy jerseys in the back, some crazy shoes, and he didn't have that. And I was like, yo, I'm kind of disappointed. He goes, yo, I got this. He showed the camera. M11s.
I got it for you. I'm going to show you the other. Just for you, Steve.
On that flavor.
Just for you, Steve.
Oh.
Green M8s.
Just for you, Steve.
Yo, you wore that one time, right?
Just for you, Steve.
Wasn't that Christmas Day?
Huh?
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day. I love that shit.
Dope.
When I was in Philly a few months ago, I was at the Mitchell & Ness shop, and I hit Kenny up. I was like, yo, look where I'm at, and I picked up those green shorts, so couldn't pass up on that.
Fire.
Let's get into the shit. Knicks episode. This is highly anticipated. I'm sure people are looking for opinions one way or another, because, you know, there's a lot of people who are like, yo, I want Melo to win. There's a lot of people who are like, yo, just come home. So, Joe, first question goes to you. 2 things that we always look at with potential fits for Melo is, first off, what kind of role do you envision him having? So, obviously, we know in New York, they have Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, Taj Gibson, TBD, Nerlens Noel, TBD. But with those guys that I just named, what kind of role do you envision Melo having in New York, considering they don't have too many offensive weapons? They struggled defensively last year, and obviously fell off from the year before where they made the playoffs. So thoughts on how he fits?
For me, man, in a perfect scenario with Melo coming to the Knicks, if he decides to go that way next year, he'd be the legitimate 6-man role, man. I can still be in a 6-man role, coming off the bench to get buckets at a premium. When they need good buckets, he'd be the man to go to provide some extra rebounding, you know, off the bench. And also, more importantly, for me, if he decides to go to go to the Knicks, wherever he goes this summer coming up, you would know which direction he's leaning to in his twilight of his career. Either he's going to the Knicks for the retirement, or he's going to wherever to the ring to legitimize his legacy, you know, as a Hall of Famer, right? With the Knicks, I think he can provide some true professionalism for the young guys like Obi Toppin, Robinson. He can show these young guys how to be a pro on off the
RJ.
court.
Yeah,
Barrett, exactly.
Barrett, yeah.
More, yeah. How to be a pro on and off the floor, and to be that 6-man they need, you know, to play every game. Derrick Rose is there, but you can always count on him, you know. Yeah. Personally, I don't see it. And again, but if he goes that route, you know, he's thinking more of retirement rather than to get a ring. That's just my opinion.
I feel like we've had this combo for the last 3 years.
Yes.
Every year it's like, yo, does he just want to come back and finish up, or does he want to go and try to chase that ring? So
Yeah, and like he said in his exit meetings in LA, he paid with LeBron now. That box is checked. And now I think it's on to the next.
But Joe, you know that as soon as he said that, he's like, and that doesn't mean like I'm leaving, whatever. I know you guys are gonna run with that. So he made sure to be like, yo, that doesn't mean I'm not coming back. But I agree with you. I think it was big that he said that.
But back to what? That team's a fucking shit show, man. I'm just saying my opinion, but I pass it on to Kenny.
Kenny, you
I
got
don't know. I think if he goes to New York, he'll probably be like the focal point. I think they'll like try to build use him as the centerpiece because of the hoop. Like they'll build it up and make it so that he feels like he's the man again. And the younger guys, like you say, you can teach them. And him and RJ Barrett, that's like to me that's a 1-2 punch because either one of them, and then that's extra scoring. Him and Derrick Rose, they played together before, so they kind of know each other. Noel, he can slide down there with him, so it's like, and Toppin, he's young too, so he would fit in with him because he can teach him the game and show him the ropes and stuff like that. So,
all right, let me ask you guys this: Melo is a 4 at this point in his career. Randall plays the 4, and Obi Toppin plays the 4. Do you think there's enough minutes for him on that team? Because obviously Obi showed some real flashes last season.
He did.
And I like him a lot. I think he has a chance to be a real good player. And obviously Randall, they're paying him. He's kind of, him and RJ, depending on the night, are the guys. Where does Melo fit in there, minutes-wise?
You know what? To that, I would say, I would retract my statement I made in the opening comment. If a trade was to happen, they trade Julius Randle. Then I can see Melo coming to New York. That frees up some extra minutes for Melo to slide in, play some significant minutes
and
for the Knicks. Yeah, get a shot. Other than that, Julius Randle got even before he'll get his minutes. You know what I'm saying? But they trade him. I can see him Melo coming to New York then. But also, the Knicks don't play that much defense neither.
No.
So it's kind of like the Lakers, defensive wise, it ain't gonna work. And then Melo's gonna be in the same position he was this year on the defensive end, looking crazy out here. I just don't see it, man.
Yeah. In terms of fit, like you just said, Joe, with Randall there, I think like the ideal scenario would be the Knicks trade Randall. Whether that's in a Jalen Brunson sign and trade, I don't really care who they get back for him.
Right.
I just think, I don't want to say that 1 year was a fluke, but it was weird that he did that specific year. So if they could trade Randall, I think Melo fits in perfectly. If Obi wants to start, bring Melo off the bench and let him score. Another thing, besides minutes and points, because again, I think it is going to be tough. If you have Randall, who you pay in a lot of money, if you have Obi Toppin, who is one of your core guys moving forward, those guys play the 4 pretty much. That's the only position they play. I'm forgetting the word. They don't really play the 5 very, very rarely because Mitch plays the 5, and it looks like they're going to re-sign him from everything that we're hearing. And then you even have guys like Taj Gibson and Noel and shit like that. So I think Randall needs to be traded. I don't think it's going to happen. It seems like right now on June 27th that Randall's going to be a Knick next year. So for me, that's where I'm like, damn, I don't know if this would work. But on the other end, I think part of the fit is also what can he bring to the team and where can he fit in besides just minutes and points and things like that. And you both mentioned it, where he can really be a mentor to these young guys, from RJ to Obi to Quickly, Quentin Grimes, all these dudes, even Mitch, like fuck it, all these dudes who, the Knicks have a core and they missed the playoffs last year. Nobody's saying they're going to win the championship, and we'll get into the winning part of it in a second. But for Melo to come home and mentor these young guys, and then let's say in 3-4 years they're a real team, they'll give him a lot of credit, and Knicks fans will really appreciate Melo giving. Like, you look at every team he's been on, like Max Grimes, this dude who just got drafted to the Lakers. when they asked him, what players do you think you could learn from? He's
Said
on the
Melo.
team. He's on the team with LeBron, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and he said Carmelo Anthony. If you
Did he
remember
really?
back,
I didn't hear that.
yeah, if you remember
Yeah, he
back
said
in the
Melo.
Portland
Tried to
days,
pick his brain.
yeah, if you remember back in the Portland days, Gary Trent, all he talked about was how much Melo was helping him and all these things. So that aspect of it, of course, he fits. He'll help these young guys immensely. But in terms of minutes and shots and things like that, unless they want Randall to play, the 5 sometimes when Mitch is out, or if they want Obi to be a 3, or I don't know. But I just don't know where Melo would get the opportunity that he would get even in LA, if I'm being honest with you. Just being a spot-up shooter, because there's just too many guys at that position on the Knicks.
Well, but aren't they trying to get Brunson too? So they're probably
Yeah.
they're gonna have to give up a lot of pieces to free up Cat for him, because
Yeah, well,
he's gonna want some money.
they're trying to get rid of Fournier and shit like that.
Yeah, and I heard New Orleans they cap space as well. But let's be honest, fellas. Like you said a little bit ago, it's not every single year you're always hearing about the Knicks freeing up cap space with all these big name free agents and nobody comes, or they overpay. It's one or the other, man. Every single year.
You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say we're hearing a lot of reports about this Brunson thing, but we also heard that about KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
3 years ago, yeah.
But Brunson obviously not on their level, and honestly, I don't want him. I don't think he's that guy, and they're gonna pay him.
Oh yeah, sure. Somebody's gonna pay him. They definitely gonna pay him a whole bunch of money, and then he's going to come and
overpay him.
They just signed his dad as an assistant coach.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
The Knicks.
The Knicks.
Did they really? I didn't know
they signed
that.
Jalen Brunson's dad as an assistant coach or some shit like that.
Yep.
So it's weird. So it's looking like that's a lot.
That was the setup.
Yeah.
They're playing chess, man. They're playing chess.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And you know what? He's the only one that you hear any rumors the Knicks is linked to hard. Brunson.
Yep.
And they will overpay to get him. Watch that stage.
I think they will too.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire, in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Blackball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show.
All right, Kenny, let's go back to you on this one. The second thing that we're looking for, and I'm talking the Melo community, Melo fans, is him being on a championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
He has played 19 years in the NBA. He has not played in NBA Finals, let alone win an NBA championship. I think I know how you guys are both going to answer this question, but do you think the Knicks are a championship contender next season?
They need a whole lot more pieces, bro.
Yeah, I know.
They might need a whole new puzzle for that. Unless they really build around that and get some solid players for him, I don't think so. I don't see it.
For who? Randall?
No, for Melo.
Oh, yeah.
And again, just real quick, we're recording this on June 27th, so we don't know who those pieces are going to be. Just want to say that because.
Yeah, because it's not guaranteed because people can start signing when the 30th, I think it is.
I think it's Thursday. Yeah.
I think they can start talking to teams on July 1st, and they can officially sign on the 4th.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the. No, man, it's still gonna be a couple years. They still missing some pieces.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah. Hell no, man. Ain't nobody coming to New York, man. Ain't nobody coming to New York. If KD and Kyrie ain't come, they backed up the bring truck for them to get there. We all this like I said earlier, all those cappies they had. No, man. Like I said, Melo come back to New York because he's gonna retire. If not this coming year, then a year after for sure. That's the only reason you come back home.
I don't see him retiring this year though. He in the gym like crazy. I don't.
So either.
That's not happening.
I think he's going at least 21 years.
Yeah.
So you give him 2 more seasons, 2 more years.
I think so.
Yeah,
I hope
can
so.
see 2 more. I can see 2 more max. That's why I'm thinking. He wants that chip, man.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
coming back home. Yeah, I see Brooklyn, but New York, no.
You know what really hurts me about this specific question is that the Knicks were the 4th seed last year.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like, they took a huge step. Like, let's add another piece. And again, last offseason, everybody was like, oh, shit, they got Kemba Walker. They got Evan Fournier. They got these guys. Like, they're going to be a top 4 seed again. Like, and they're going to take another step. And then I was like, holy shit, if Melo goes to this team, like, that's a solid team. They missed the playoffs this year. They didn't even make the play. They had a rough year.
Did they win that first round series 2 years ago? Who they beat?
The Hawks beat them at 5.
Okay, that was
the Hawks beat us.
That's when Trae Young kept messing with people in the stands and all.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
And man, after that season, I was like, one of the things like Derrick Rose was the best player in the playoffs because he was he was pretty much the only player on the team who could consistently create his own shot. We obviously know what Melo can do. And I was like, damn, if you just add Melo to that team, who they were a great defensive team, not this year, last year, that's something. And then they just took a huge step back this year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. But I still think, again, they're not a championship contender. Unless something crazy happens, like Kenny said, they're not. But I think they're a playoff team. Like, I think they learned a lot of lessons last year. I hope they'll play their young guys a lot more this year. And if you add Melo to that, again, it's just a weird fit right now with Obi and Randall. Like, how is Melo going to get minutes?
I think they got something up their sleeve, man. I don't know. I just
they
think
have to.
They're going to get somebody else because they can't get Brunson and they free up all this money. They're going to get somebody. Like somebody that New York,
I think they're going to overpay.
Like in a perfect world, who would that somebody be? Just off the top of your head, other than Brunson, that can help them get to the top 5 in the East or top 4.
See, I don't even know who's a free agent right now.
There's really not a ton of free agents this summer.
Yeah, I don't even know who's
like Kyrie's coming back.
Other than Kyrie and Kate, Kyrie, that's the only thing I've been. Oh, and Bradley Beal. I've been hearing his name a lot.
I think he's like re-signing with the Wizards, isn't he?
I haven't heard that either.
I think
everything's been Kyrie. Everything's been Kyrie and KD. Kyrie and KD. That's all I've heard.
Yeah.
So the 2 years ago when the Knicks took 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
That next they put that same team back, right? Running back, pretty much, right?
They added Kemba, Evan Fournier.
Who they lose? That's it, right?
Kemba.
They didn't lose anybody big.
They didn't lose. No, it was RJ, Randall, D Rose. But D Rose was hurt a lot.
So what was you guys think that they took that big step back? Not a small step.
Randall took a step back.
It was Randall. Randall was an all-star. He was an all-NBA player.
Yeah, he was not. It's like he wasn't in it last year. He just didn't.
That's
care.
fair.
It was his contract year.
He got that bag, didn't he? You get that bag? Yeah, exactly. He got that bag that year. Yeah.
So that's the thing, man. He was obviously RJ was doing his thing, but Randall was the guy. And last year, Randall was not the guy. And
anytime you sitting on the bench in a huddle and you're on the last seat and the team is in the middle of the damn floor, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's a bad look, man.
Come on, bro. You don't do that. You're supposed to be the superstar on the team. You don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more note that I wanted to talk about for this question.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty intrigued when I read this on Basketball Reference. The Knicks scored the 5th fewest points in the league last year.
Wow. Did they really?
But on the other end, they allowed the 6th fewest. So their games were way lower scoring than pretty much the entire rest of the league.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we can look at that and be like, all right, cool. We know what Melo can do offensively. How much worse can he be defensively than what they had last year?
True. But I mean, he's not really a terrible defensive player. He's just not as quick as he was laterally. He can't
Yeah,
it's just
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
and,
Yeah.
and
And
you're
if
not
he's
going
playing
body
the
to body
4,
with people.
and if he's playing the 4, he doesn't need that. And again,
Right.
people they're gonna get mismatches, whatever. They'll do that against any 4, against any 5. But
Yeah.
I think Melo single-handedly wins them. I'm not saying a bunch of games that they make the playoffs, that they're a different team. Like, I think he wins them a few games last year single-handedly because of
Yeah.
what he can do offensively. Because when RJ was struggling, Randall was pretty much struggling the whole year. D Rose was out a lot. Like, they didn't have many guys offensively who can forget about creating their own shot. Just put the ball in the fucking hoop.
But
True.
at the end, but at the same time, we know how Tibbs is. He's a defensive guy.
Yeah,
If you ain't up, if you ain't up to par, he don't think you gonna be able to do this, do that on defensive end. You ain't gonna play. I don't care who you are with Tibbs,
And,
man.
and
but you know,
he coached them in USA too, so he kind
yeah,
of
he did.
familiar with him. Like he was on the coaching staff, so it's like he kind of familiar with. They're familiar with each other, but now it just be every day versus every 4 years or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, man.
Joe, you know what else kind of guy Tibbs is? A vet guy.
Yeah.
True.
He
I'll say that. I
hates
agree with
playing
that.
the young dudes.
Yes.
So that's another thing that I'm like, Melo could get I love Obi. I literally have like a T-shirt of him and RJ and shit like that. Like love him, but I feel like there would be a lot of nights where he gets more minutes than Obi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ob is maybe 2, maybe 3 years away. I think his defensive end he's gotten better year by year, but on offensive end, he hasn't even touched the surface how good he can be. He ain't there yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him continue to develop his shot.
Yes,
If he can
exactly.
do that, he's athletic.
Yes,
So if he's
very.
able to shoot, catch alleys, run the fit, like he's gonna be good. And I think
Yes.
he's good.
Yes.
All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord, I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever, and then you also get member exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com, and I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good.
Joe, let's get to the next question. Straight up, do you want to see Melo in blue and orange next year? Why or why not?
Again, for the same things we talked about earlier, no. I just think at this point in his career, man, you already a Hall of Famer. We want to legitimize your legacy in this league. We need to get you a chip. And coming to New York is not going to get you that chip. Not next year or the year after that. You need to go somewhere, Brooklyn, Phoenix, even the Clippers, what I got, Miami, to get you a chip. It's not going to work in New York. I know the fans are yelling for Melo to come home for the retirement with all that good stuff, but no, it's just not going to work. Okay, ain't nobody coming to help you, Melo. There's nobody coming to help you. Julius Randle is a shell of himself, and after he got his bag, he just, I don't know, went left. I like Barrett a lot. I like Barrett.
Me too.
I like Quickly. I like Robinson. I think he's a shit. A couple other because I like. But I like Grimes out of not Tech, Houston. I think he went to. Yeah, I like him too. But overall, it's not where we need to go next year. Just my opinion.
Fair. A lot of people are saying that, so completely fair. Kenny.
Brooklyn. If you don't go back to come back home, go to Brooklyn. You gotta bring a better opportunity.
Ken, you know what that's like as a Knicks fan to hear that? You know how Knicks fans would feel seeing Melo in that black and white jersey?
That's like an insult to injury.
But it's
like
for the. I'm just saying, man.
That's an insult.
Like you say, he played with LeBron. Check box. You want to play with KD? In my opinion, it's like 1A, 1B.
Look, here's my thing with Brooklyn. Obviously, I'm an Knicks fan. Look at the shit behind me and everything. It's a lose-lose. If they don't win, it's like, damn, you went over to our rival and you didn't even win. And if they do win, can you imagine like the championship Melo wins in New York being in Brooklyn? Like it doesn't even sound right. Like when I said it, like I'm like, wait, did I say that right? But like I get it, like fit wise and all that shit, it makes sense. But
It
It's
does,
kind
man.
of it's kind of like when Eagles players go to the Cowboys. It's like you see him, it's like, oh, okay,
I mean, anytime anybody goes to the Cowboys, it's disgusting.
yeah. So it's like their
But
rivalry is just
the thing about booking squad, they bring everybody back, running back, and they healthy. KD, Kyrie, Harris, that big Claxton,
Ben Simmons.
Bowen, Ben Simmons. Look at the
Kenny's
team.
Look at Kenny was like,
I know Kenny already told me he gonna boo the shit out of him going to Philly every time.
every
can't
time he
wait
comes
for
to. I guarantee y'all feel it.
dude,
in
I
your
can't wait
houses.
for that.
That's how hard they're gonna boo him. I'm telling you, they're
I
gonna
bet.
boo his jersey off.
I bet.
But think
Every time he
about
misses a shot,
what that team could be if they're
of
healthy
course.
and they bring all them players back.
Yeah.
But
You
still
add Melo to that mix off the bench? Lord, come on, man.
we still ain't seen how all the pieces fit together though.
That's true.
Because last year it was KD, Kyrie, KD, Kyrie, Kyrie, KD.
And then
What
Ben
was the
Simmons
other?
came and didn't even play.
Right. So where was the other off the
Can't be
bench? Who was it?
Can't be no worse than the Lakers this past season. Can be no worse.
Yeah, it's true.
They can be no
But they
worse.
got
Just saying, man.
Kenny, you want to see Melo back in blue and orange or no?
not yet. Not yet. I do want to see that happen, but not yet. I
Where
want
do you
to see
want him
him
to go?
try to. I want him to compete for a championship. You
Where?
really want me to answer that question?
Where?
You know where I want him to go.
Say it, because I
Philly.
don't know if everyone knows where you're from.
Come here. Come to Philly, baby. Come to Philly. They'll love him here, man.
Sign with Daryl Morey is what you just said on Control the Narrative podcast, Ken.
Listen. I'm from Philly, bro. Do you know how long it's been since they seen the championship?
I don't.
The Eagles in Villanova, and that was like our last big championships. We need another parade, man.
But the man cut him off of 10 games in Houston, man.
Yeah, I know.
As a man, he ain't getting over that.
If
I don't care,
not,
but yes,
so that's me as a fan wanting him
yeah, I
to
feel
come
you.
to Philly.
I feel you on that.
But realistically, I kind of want him to go to. It's like either Milwaukee,
That makes sense.
Miami. I don't know because they still have Hero and Robinson, and they have somebody else. So I don't know if they'll really utilize him.
I think they would.
Even though
Me
PJ
too.
Tucker's leaving, I don't know how they would fit him. Well, I mean, him and Jimmy Butler would probably make sure that he gets with his just due.
And Hero might be out because he wants to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they paid Robinson all that money. He played, 80,
Yeah.
30 minutes, the whole playoff team.
He
Like,
barely played.
Yeah.
yeah,
There you
man.
go. Well, Miami just opened up. I didn't know them pieces
Yeah.
was falling like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. I don't really see him going nowhere else.
What about Phoenix, though, man?
Phoenix. That's about it.
I like that a lot. With Chris Paul, Monty Williams.
Golden State. He's going to Golden State.
There's no upside there. It's like they win the championship. It's like Melo. They just
True
won.
story. Yeah.
All right, let me attack this at a different angle for you guys. One thing that I've been thinking about is when you go on Melo's basketball reference, the teams that he's played for: Denver, New York, OKC, Houston, Portland, LA, and for everybody, Melo was a guy who, for the first 14 years of his career, played for two teams. Right. And you thought, like, oh, shit, all right, he might retire Nick. He wanted to retire Nick. He's from here, all this shit. Do you think it's weird, or does it bother you? Let me phrase it like that. Does it bother you that he would, if he went to Miami, if he went to Phoenix, if he went to Philly, whatever, that it would be his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team in 7 years? Like when people when people look back 20 years from now and they say, yo, Melo was on Denver for a long time and the Knicks for a long time. Why did he go from OKC to Houston to Portland to LA to Philly or like wherever it is? Like, does that bother either of you?
And you forgot Atlanta.
And Chicago. But yeah, he didn't play for that.
Oh, yeah.
But with the state of the NBA right now, I don't. A lot of players are not staying with one team.
Yeah.
So it's like, because you look at
Good
LeBron.
point.
LeBron didn't stay with one team.
Good point.
D Wade played for a couple teams. Chris Paul played for a couple teams.
James
So
Harden on his way.
But
James
man,
Harden,
6 teams in 7 years to end your career?
Who?
I mean,
Melo or Harden?
Melo.
Well, 1 year don't count because he wasn't in the league. You know, that wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, because I honestly think he might retire in Portland because of how they treated him and gave him the
You
opportunity.
know what? I was just thinking about that, man.
I actually think he might retire in Portland versus New York.
I think he'll definitely come back to New York.
Think so?
He's cool with all them. He has people in his corner here.
Yeah, but he's even said he wanted he would retire in Portland.
I remember that. But then they didn't get back to him when he wanted to resign.
Yeah.
True.
Can't even get a call from him.
Yeah, they loved him in Portland, though, man. They gave him so much love the 2 years he was there, man.
Yep.
Man.
Joe, does that bother you? The 6 teams in 7 years?
Not really, man. It doesn't bother me all that much at all. Especially after he hung himself and out of the league for that year, and then came to terms where I'm gonna have to call it the bench now. I'm no more onside player. I can't play 30, 35 minutes a game no more. This is my role now. So therefore, I gotta find my niche and stay with it. So I don't have a problem with it, man. I do think we got 2 more years maximum left in this league. I do think that he's itching for the championship, whatever team it may be. I do think he wants to legitimize his legacy with a championship. I'm hoping to God he made the best decision and not come back to New York Knicks, man.
Fair.
Maybe sign a 1-day contract after he's done and come back and sign and they retire, but don't come back and play.
A lot of people agree with you, Joe. I don't want to say I'm one of the only ones, but a smaller percentage wants him to come back versus does not want him to come back. And for me, relevant but also not on the same topic, that's 6 teams in 7 years. If he were to go to a new team like Phoenix or Miami, it bothers me. Because Melo was always the guy who stuck through shit. In Denver, he signed that extension. When LeBron and Wade and Bosh all had that opt-out after 2010, he was like, I'm good in Denver. I like it here. I have no complaints. When he was in New York, he re-upped with the Knicks. Even though they just missed the playoffs for the first time in his career and all this stuff, he's like, nah, this is where I want to build. So for him, in my eyes, to go from 2 teams in 14 years to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. 4 and 5 years,
right?
5 and 6, and then potentially 6 and 7. I'm just like, that's not who he is. He was never somebody who needed to team up with people. And again, maybe he did, because at the end of the day, he hasn't been to a final. So, we're not sitting here saying he has 2 championships and he did it all by himself. Of course not. But for him to just go from that player who was always loyal, and he still is, to just, all right, let me go to this team. All right, this team gives me the best team, opportunity to win. Let me go here. It's just it just doesn't sit right with me. And I get it. And I get it that's the league now. Like Kenny said, that's the league now. That's what people do. Wade, you guys mentioned a few players. I get it. But for me, it just bothers me personally.
You know what I was thinking about earlier today? I don't know why I thought about this. But what if all the top players go back to the teams they were superstars on? Melo goes back to the Knicks. LeBron goes back to Cleveland. Kyrie goes back to Cleveland. KD goes to OKC. Everybody that was the man at their teams when they first started goes back to those teams.
That'd be fine.
Just see how they fare with each other. See how they make out.
That's the thing, though. Like you just said, as that player, Melo ain't the player he was back then to now. Totally different. LeBron is the exception. He's a freak. He can do that. He can go back to Cleveland right now and lead them in the right direction, the top 3, top 2 in the East. He can do that.
Except LA, apparently.
Well, yeah.
LeBron's waiting for his son.
Yeah, he does.
But I just don't think Melo is the type of player no more that can put the team on his back back then like he is now. He has, like I said, I think he's trying to find this niche. He found this niche, but it's just unfortunate the teams he's picking ain't winning worth a dang. But Portland was winning, but he just ain't going far in the playoffs. That's the only exception.
You know what, Joe? We haven't really seen him since he's been back in the league be able to even try to carry a team.
That's fair.
Now, bro.
He hasn't
That's
had
a
that
good
shot.
point.
They never
That's a good point.
It's been a bench role. It hasn't been a starter. Let's give you the keys and let you see what you can do with this car. Let's see how you can drive it.
That's a fair point.
No team has ever done that. And wherever he's went, there's been somebody else there with him. Not
to your
on
point,
purpose.
Kenny, they did that in Portland when they had guys out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you remember how that turned out really well.
Yes. He was hooping.
Against your Sixers, Kenny. It was like 2 games where like they gave Melo the keys and he balled the fuck out.
That's fine.
Yes. Yes.
You know who my team really is, but I'm not gonna say it on this podcast.
Yes. He did, man. That's a good point, man. It makes you think. We all know Melo is the defensive player. He never was a defensive player, but as older age, he'll be 39 next year. Is it 40 or 39?
39.
But a lot of people say he wasn't a defensive player, but every time he messed up against LeBron, he always had trouble. It was never drop 40 easy like versus everybody else. He dropping 40, 50, but him and LeBron always went head to head.
Yeah.
It's like certain players that he got, when he had to lock down, he was locked down.
Yeah.
Like that Boston series when they won. It was him playing both sides of the ball.
Yep.
When they play LA against Kobe, he always played well against Kobe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When he played with Chauncey, though, he played defense. He played defense when he was with Chauncey.
Yeah.
Now when he was with AI, that was a different story. But when he was with Chauncey, he played both sides because him and AI was trying to see who could score more.
I still think those AI teams were underrated in Denver.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because they just ran into tough ass opponents in the first round. And like
it was funny. It was funny though. I did that on 2K, and then 2 weeks later, it actually happened. I traded Iverson to Denver, and then 2 weeks later, it actually happened.
You got inside info or what, Kenny?
No, I didn't. I just gave it a shot. You know what?
You cool with George Carlin or some shit?
No, Iverson's my favorite player, and Melo was my favorite player.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm putting 2 of them on the same team. That was a super team though.
Let me ask you guys a question, man. I'm gonna throw it out here. I know his name will ever come true, but
Denver.
This team here under new general manager, not a new coach, but second year in the league coach. Let's say they get a superstar to come play alongside the other player. Would Melo go back to play for Portland? You think?
That's a good question.
If Dan gets a superstar to come to Portland and play with him, now that Portland got a new GM, a new president or GM, one or the other. I know Chauncey's there. You know the history of Melo. You know how that all go. Do we run with the possibility Melo might go back to Portland?
The only way it had a slim chance, in my opinion, was if KD went, and KD's not going.
Yeah.
So he's not going. So for me, like, if they get Bradley Beal, like, obviously they're going to be really good, but they're not going to be a top 4 team in the West, in my opinion. KD was the only way that happened, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't think so.
Well, top 4 ain't a bad place to be, considering what options you have on the table. I'm just throwing it out there.
Let's go through it. They're probably not better than the Warriors. They're probably not better than Phoenix.
No.
They're probably not better than Memphis.
No. True.
Denver.
Dallas.
Denver
with Murray healthy.
Yes. Porter.
So that's 5 right there.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. Yeah, I'll put you on that.
If it's KD, like, way different.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
Yeah.
And you know who else? Because you got Zion coming back too. The Pelicans.
Ooh,
the Pelicans are going to be nice.
Yeah.
They might be scary.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Nice. And again, you know which team we didn't even name? The fucking Lakers. The Lakers have to be better than all of those teams. What are the odds of that?
The Clippers. What about the Clippers, man?
And the Clippers, there's another team. If they're
Okay,
healthy, they are one of the best teams in the NBA. Forget about the West.
I can see a sneaky Melo going and play the Clippers though. Staying in LA.
We talked about that last week. Number one, they have a ton of wings.
Yeah.
That's true.
And two, it just relies on their health. If Kawhi and Paul George are healthy, they're obviously a championship contender. If not, that's tough.
But it depends on what Paul George will get in the playoffs.
That's true.
You get playoff fee. You get playoff fee.
Yeah, it's the same thing for James Harden. He's a superstar during the season, but playoff time,
James
they're still looking
Harden.
for him.
But James Harden's out of shape.
They're still looking for him.
Yeah.
They're still trying to find him.
Yeah.
It's wild.
He
is. I don't call him washed. He fell off.
Yeah.
Big time over the last year and a half. Big time.
Because he went to Sin City and got a taste of the club down here, and
yeah, man.
He's chilling with little baby all day.
Yeah, man. Sin City will do that to you down here, bro.
Yeah, apparently his big thing come on the show tonight. That's probably what happened.
That's why I should.
That's what happened to Dick, man. I'm
Steve.
getting him too about that.
Yeah, I hope he's good, man. I hope he's good.
I should have showed you Sin City, Steve.
Hey, man. Next, I think we're gonna be out to a Knicks Sixers game, right? So, hit me.
Okay, gotcha.
No doubt.
Joe, Kenny. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about? I think that was it. Yeah, because we talked about the flip-flopping teams. Thank you both, as always, for joining. But
sure,
you two know the deal. Before I let you go, I'm going to give you both an opportunity to control a narrative. It doesn't have to be Melo related, doesn't have to be Bass related, doesn't have to be sports related. So whoever has one, I will give you the floor to control a narrative.
Just real quick, man. It's really not. Yeah, this whole thing came down to basically with this whole Roe versus Ward with the whole abortion thing. I think it's kind of fucked up, man. That some old ass man can sit, the politician can sit and make laws. Whereas if you get raped, that and you want to have abortions, that you can go to jail for 40 years for that shit, man. It's fucked up. Our laws are so much need to be some work need to be put into that, man, because that's really bad for all women all over the world. If they get violated, God forbid, that they can go to jail for having an abortion, man. That just my thoughts on it. It's messed up, and that's all I have to say about it.
Obviously, a huge topic lately. What we will do is we will put a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to the description, and we will put a link. There's a bunch of places you can donate. So there's states that it's legal. And what people are doing is they're paying for people to travel from places where it's illegal to places where it's legal to have it safely done. Not going to get too much into it, but we'll put links to donate in the description. If you watch this and you've been watching
that's awesome.
42 minutes plus,
links.
It would mean a lot
Absolutely.
to go and do that. I personally donated money. Could be 5, 10, whatever you have.
Whatever you have, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's a good one, Joe. Thank you for bringing that up. Kenny, you got one?
Yeah, man, we got to do better with these gun laws, man. Because right now, Philly is like a wild, wild west, bro. Like, it's crazy right now, bro. Like, every day it's ridiculous. Like, it's even happening down the street from me on my corner.
Mm.
And like, I take my girls outside to play. It's like, it's just dangerous, man. I never would have thought that it would be on the corner of my block. It never was that bad. So it was like, they got to do something about these gun laws, man. They got to make it more strict or something. Like,
they're doing the opposite in New York. I don't know if you've heard. This has turned into a very political end of the episode, but they're doing the opposite in New York, where now they are, from what I understand, allowing people to carry guns in New York City. I don't know the laws and things like that, but they're doing the opposite of what you just said, Kenny.
It's crazy, man.
So, wild shit, man.
Yep.
Wild era we're living through, especially the past 3 years, 2+ years.
Yes, absolutely, man.
But Kenny, Joe, as always, man, great convos with you guys.
Sure.
We missed Vic tonight. I feel like this episode would have been probably an hour and a half long if Vic was on here. Us
I said
fucking around.
It's all love, though, Vic. It's all love, man.
Yeah, fucking around and shit like that. But dope, man. Thank you guys for bringing up those topics. And
Yes, sir.
next time we talk, we will know where Melo's going to be playing next season, and we'll also know what jersey we're going to be buying because
Absolutely. You know what? Before we leave here, man,
go for it.
this is the first time ever me being a Melo fan. I didn't buy any memorabilia of Melo with the Lakers. Not one thing. Scrub hat, jersey, socks, nothing.
Why?
Me either.
That color of the Lakers didn't look good on him, man.
I
It
agree.
did not. Just
Kenny,
saying.
I have picture proof to prove otherwise, so don't try me.
I don't buy nothing, man.
Yeah,
Nothing.
man. That gross yellow jersey. The old Lakers jersey, the gold one, clean. But this new like mustard yellow one, not fucking with it. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm about to. So just to let everybody know, I was going through my Jordan t-shirts the other day. I have a bunch of mediums that I have to get rid of, so I might post them in the marketplace because I can't fit a medium no more. I done gained some weight now, so me trying to put a medium on is not going to work. So
Silly.
On the Discord,
yeah, I'm gonna post them on there. So
Dope. Sweet.
we're
I know you
gonna
got. I know you got tons of them too.
yeah,
None
I
you got
some stuff-
tons.
I got some stuff that was never released to the public too. So
I know you
So
do.
control the narrative Discord, the marketplace, because we're gonna post this on IG and Twitter, Kenny, and there's gonna be a bunch of people being like, "Yo, where the fuck do I find this?"
okay.
Join our Discord, and I Kenny, I did not tell you to say this for people to join the Discord. This is coming from you, correct?
Yes, sir.
I wasn't like, "Yo, do this." Like, let's get more
No,
people.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, where can I get rid of this stuff? I was like, you know what?
Perfect
I know
place
exactly
to do
where I
that.
can put this
Yes.
at.
We will
Yes.
put
Because I
this.
feel like
This-
if I put it on like a Poshmark or an eBay, like nobody's really going to appreciate it. But if I put it in a marketplace where there's Melo
100%.
fans, then
Oh man, eat it
there you
up.
go.
No doubt.
Fun. You're the fucking man for that, Kenny. And we will clip that and post on Instagram. Again, your shit's gonna get blown up. And if you're still watching or listening to us, almost over 46 minutes, go join our Discord. Link in our Instagram bio, or just go to controlthenarrative.com and click Discord. So, good shit. Good.
My
end.
guys, man.
Good
My
end.
guys. One love, man.
Love,
Appreciate
fellas.
you guys' time, man. Stay mellow,
All
baby.
right.